Oh, basically, if Charlie and I can't have a decent mental attitude, who can? I mean, we get to do what we love doing every day. We do it with people that are not only cheerful about it and like us, but they do their jobs extraordinarily well. They like their jobs too. We're forced to do virtually nothing that we don't want to do. I have a trainer that comes 3 times a week. I think she's probably here. She may think I'm a little begrudging in that particular activity, but that's only 45 minutes 3 times a week. And the rest of the time, I am doing I'm doing whatever I love day by day by day by day, and I do it, in air-conditioned offices and
We're going to get back to the video in just a second, but before we do, remember to leave a like and subscribe, because if you can't subscribe, then I can't keep on making videos for you just like this one. So now, back to the video.
How could you be sour about life, being blessed in so many ways? And then the amazing thing is that when Charlie's 84, I'm 77, and we've slowed down, I'm sure, in a lot of ways, but we pretend we haven't, and it doesn't seem to bother us. We get along fine. Great partners, great managers, great families. There's just no reason to look at any minuses in life and to focus on that. It would be crazy. So, we really do count our blessings, because they've been many, and they continue to come forth, and we'll enjoy it as long as we can. There's not much more to it than that. Charlie?
Well, I wish we were poster boys for the benefits of running marathons and maintaining a very slim bodily state and so forth. But as nearly as I can tell, neither of us pays much attention to any health habits or dietary rules. And it seems to have worked pretty well so far. I don't think we can recommend it to everybody, but I, for one, don't plan to change.
Really, from the moment we get up to when we go to bed at night, we get to do all kinds of things. We get this associating with wonderful people is about as good as it gets. And we're biased, obviously, but we think we live in the best country in the world and have all kinds of good things. I mean, just imagine. We could have stayed in my grandfather's grocery store and it would have been hell.
By the way, this relates to the subject of corporate compensation. You're in a job which you would pay to have if that were the only way to get it. And you're supposed to be an exemplar from other people, for other people. There's a lot to be said for not paying yourself very well.
He points that out to me regularly. Well, if you think about it, the idea that CEO compensation represents a market system and that you have to pay some guy a $10 million retention bonus or something to stay around in a job that he's been fighting to keep and stacking the board and everything so that they keep him around and all. I mean, I don't know of a CEO in America. I'm sure there are a few, but I don't know of any that wouldn't gladly do the job at half the price or a quarter of the price. And I've seen some that have left jobs paying them 8 figures and nobody's offered them anything, a year later or 2 years later. I wonder where that wonderful market system is that's supposed to have all these bidders for their services. It's really sort of ridiculous, I think.
Hi, I'm Richard Rentrop from Bonn, Germany. At the moment, I attend high school and would like your wisdom on how to approach the question of what to do with the rest of my life. So,
we prefer things a little more difficult than that, if you've got to say.
So, Mr. Buffett, Mr. Munger, if you were about to start all over again, what profession would you choose and why?
Well, I would choose what I do because I have fun at it. I'm reasonably good at it. I meet a lot of interesting people through it. No heavy lifting. It fits me. But that's not advice for you. I mean, you have to find out what's your passion in life. It's a terrible mistake to kind of sleepwalk through your life, because unless Shirley MacLaine's right, it's the only one you're going to have. And so I was very lucky in that I found my passion early. I mean, that's not easy. That takes some luck. It just so happened my dad was in a business, had a very small office, and he had a bunch of books down there. And when I would go down there on Saturday or after school, I would start reading those books, and it turned me on. And this was before Playboy actually existed. And so, that was just plain lucky. If he'd been a minister, I'm not so sure I would have gotten quite as enthused about visiting the office. But that's the way to go. And I can't prescribe that for you. But I can tell you that if you're going through the motions in life, you're doing something. Now, obviously, if you need the job you have and you can't make a change, and your kids have to eat and all of that, you deal with realities like that. But when you're in a position to make choices, I always tell the kids that come visit me, I tell them, go to work for an organization you admire or an individual you admire. That means that many of them become self-employed, but but the idea, you can't get a bad result. I went to work for Ben Graham when I was 24. I only worked for him for less than 2 years. But I jumped out of bed every day in the morning. I was excited about what I was going to do. I was learning things. I was with a man I admired. I never asked my salary when I took that job. I moved to New York City and found out what my salary was when I got the check. So just be sure you get the right spouse. That's enormously important. As Charlie says, the problem, is that we talk about that fellow that spent 20 years looking for the perfect woman, and then he found her, and unfortunately she was looking for the perfect man. So you may have a problem in that respect. But it's enormously important who you marry. I mean, it's a huge decision. And if you're lucky in a couple of things like that, you're going to have a happy life, and you're going to behave better as you go along. I mean, it's a lot easier to behave well when things are going your way and you're enjoying your work, and you're thinking about things every day that are the kind of things you like to think about. And Charlie has a lot better advice than I have on that. Go to it.
Well, of course, you'll do better if you develop a passion for something in which you have a considerable aptitude. I think if Warren had gone into the ballet, nobody would have ever heard of him.
Oh, I think they'd have heard of me, just in a different way, Charlie. Well, the chances are, if you find something that turns you on, you probably do have some talent for it, though. I mean, I don't think I could have gotten turned on by ballet.
Warren Buffett has said that he loves what he's doing. He loves going to work every day. He loved going to work with Charlie Munger. Rest in peace, Charlie. He was one of the greats out there. Really understood how to build wealth and invest wisely. I mean, these two guys are just incredible. They have generated an unbelievable amount of money. But it's not all about money. It's really about doing what you would love to do in your life. And if you really enjoy going to work every day and doing what you love to do, then you're not wasting your life whatsoever. You're embracing life and doing what you love to do. If you don't love what you're doing, then you may need to, find a new career path or do something else possibly. But remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. It really helps the algorithm out tremendously.